Imagine being told that throughout history. The world's most powerful decisions weren't always made in royal courts or grand parliaments, but in hidden chambers, behind locked doors by people whose names never appeared in textbooks. Picture symbols carved into stone, encrypted messages passed in silence, and elite groups operating just out of sight while shaping wars, revolutions, and entire belief systems. From assassins who could topple empires with a single strike, to warrior monks who became richer than kings, to intellectual rebels accused of manipulating the modern world. Secret societies have always lived in the shadows, yet steered events in ways most people never realized. But what if the truth behind these groups isn't what we've been told? What if the stories passed down through centuries, stories of world domination, forbidden rituals, and hidden treasures are only half true? Tonight, we peel back the myths, the exaggerations, and the internet legends to uncover what these secret societies really did, what they truly believed, and how their influence still echoes today. For as long as civilizations have existed, humans have formed hidden groups, some for protection, some for power, and others for knowledge, too dangerous to share openly. Secrecy has always been both a shield and a weapon, allowing these societies to operate undetected while their reputations grew far beyond their actual reach. But secrecy also invites fear. It invites speculation. And over time, that speculation turns into legend. The Illuminati becomes a global puppet master. The Hashashin become mystical assassins. The Knights Templar become guardians of divine relics. Yet behind every legend lies a real story of one stranger, more complex and far more human than the myths suggest. In this documentary, we're not chasing conspiracy theories, we're chasing the facts. We'll cut through centuries of rumors to understand why these groups were formed, how they rose to power, why they were feared, and what ultimately led to their downfall. And as we journey through their hidden histories, one question follows us. Were these societies truly powerful? Did the world simply need someone to blame when history took a dark turn? Tonight, we step into the shadows and uncover the truth about the most powerful secret societies in history. For as long as human civilization has existed, there have been groups operating in the shadows, hidden behind symbols, rituals, and whispered oaths. Their stories begin not with power, but with fear of persecution, fear of losing control, fear of knowledge slipping into the wrong hands. In ancient times, when expressing certain beliefs could mean execution or exile, small circles of trusted individuals would gather in secrecy, sharing ideas forbidden by kings and empires. These early groups were not yet the secret societies we imagine today, but their foundations were the same: loyalty, silence, and shared purpose. As centuries passed, these groups evolved into powerful underground communities that influenced politics, wars, religion, and even cultural movements. Many of these societies started simply as brotherhoods, men who wanted to protect each other, preserve knowledge, or carry out missions that required discretion. But as their influence grew, so did the world's suspicion of them. Stories began to circulate about men meeting at night, exchanging coded handshakes, practicing hidden rituals, and controlling decisions from behind closed doors. Whether these stories were true didn't matter. Mystery alone was enough to ignite legends. The more secretive the group, the more publicly powerful people believed it to be. With time, secrecy itself became a tool, a way to intimidate enemies and attract followers. Rulers feared these networks. Ordinary people imagined them as puppet masters. And the societies, aware of the myths forming around them, often encouraged the rumors. After all, when your strength lies in silence, letting the world invent its own fears can be more effective than revealing the truth. By the medieval and early modern periods, secret societies had become deeply woven into the fabric of global history. Some existed to challenge oppression. Others existed to manipulate it. Some were protectors of knowledge. Others burned it. Some vanished without a trace, leaving behind symbols carved on stone walls or fragments of coded manuscripts. And some survived, adapting their purpose as centuries rolled on. This chapter in the story ahead invites you into the hidden corridors of history, where truth and myth blur, and where the most powerful groups often left no fingerprints at all. Their whispers shaped kings, guided assassins, guarded treasures, and sparked the greatest conspiracy theories the world still debates today. The story of the Hashashin begins in the rugged mountains of Persia during the 11th century, where an enigmatic leader named Hassan built a fortress that seemed almost impossible to conquer. This mountain stronghold, Alamat, became home to a small but deadly brotherhood, whose influence shook empires, terrified sultans, and rewrote the rules of psychological warfare. Unlike massive armies, the Hashashin operated with precision small teams. Silent movements and missions carried out so flawlessly that their name became synonymous with assassination itself. Even the term assassin traces back to their legend. But their power was in the number of men they commanded. It was in the fear they created. They struck with intelligence, discipline, and symbolism. Targets would find a dagger placed beside their bed while they slept, warning that the Hashashin could reach them at any moment. And if the warning was ignored, the Brotherhood followed with a public, dramatic execution that sent ripples of terror across the region. They didn't attack randomly. They removed political threats, military leaders, and even religious figures whose actions endangered their survival. Their precise operations made them appear larger and more omnipresent than they actually were. Most of what people believe about the Hashashin today is tangled in myth. Stories of drug-induced rituals, hidden gardens, and elaborate brainwashing were popularized by enemies who wanted to demonize them. But what we know for certain is that they valued loyalty, strategy, and absolute secrecy. They used disguise, infiltration, and psychological manipulation to weaken empires far more powerful than themselves. Their assassins were willing to give their lives, not for riches or rewards, but for the survival of their order. When the Mongols arrived, even the Hashashin's feared reputation could not withstand the brutal destruction brought by Hulagu Khan. Alamat was destroyed, their libraries burned, and their remaining fighters scattered, yet their legacy refused to die. The tales of the Hashashin continued to echo across centuries, feeding conspiracy theories, novels, films, and political narratives. They became the blueprint for the idea of an elite, hidden organization capable of striking anyone, anywhere. Whether exaggerated or not, the Hashashin proved one thing. You don't need a mighty army to change history, only loyalty, strategy, and the willingness to operate where others fear to tread. Few groups in history have walked the line between truth and myth as dramatically as the Knights Templar. Formed during the Crusades, the Templars were originally a small band of warrior monks sworn to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. But within decades, they transformed into one of the most powerful, wealthy, and feared organizations in medieval Europe. They built castles, controlled trade routes, managed banking systems, and created a network so expansive that kings themselves became indebted to them. Their white cloaks marked with a red cross became symbols of honor and later, symbols of cryptic mystery. The Templars were disciplined, devout, and unbelievably organized. They followed strict codes, lived modestly despite their wealth, and developed a financial system that allowed travelers to deposit money in one city and withdraw it in another centuries before modern banking. Their reach extended from Jerusalem to France, England, Portugal, and beyond. But with influence came enemies. Kings feared them. Rivals envied their riches. The church questioned their growing independence. Eventually, King Philip IV of France, drowning in debt to the order, orchestrated one of the most infamous betrayals in history. In 1307, Templars across Europe were arrested overnight, accused of heresy, tortured, and forced into confessions. Their leader, Jacques de Maule, was executed, and the order was officially dissolved. But the Templars' story didn't end there. Their sudden fall sparked centuries of theories. People believed they hid a vast treasure before their arrest: gold, relics, documents, or even secrets powerful enough to threaten kingdoms. Some legends claimed surviving Templars fled to Scotland, where they influenced later groups like the Freemasons. Others believed they guarded holy relics such as the Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail. Whether any of these tales are true remains unknown. But the Templars' disappearance created the perfect environment for myth to thrive. Their symbols, crosses, seals, coded architecture still appear in popular culture, hinting at a secret legacy. And while historians debate how much of their legend is fact, one truth is certain: the Knights Templar achieved something rare. They didn't just shape history while alive, they shaped imagination long after they were gone. Their rise and fall show how power can build legends, and how mystery can keep those legends alive forever. No secret society has captured the public imagination quite like the Illuminati. Mention the name, and people instantly think of global control, hidden symbols, shadow governments, and individuals manipulating world events from behind the curtain. But the real Illuminati was nothing like the omnipotent puppet master's conspiracy theories described today. It began in 1776 in Bavaria. Founded by Adam Weishaupt, professor who dreamed of creating a society dedicated to reason, enlightenment, and freedom from religious dominance. His goal was to challenge corruption, promote logic, and enlighten society from within. But his methods required secrecy. The original Illuminati operated like an intellectual club wrapped in layers of coded messages, secret ranks, and ritualistic confidentiality. They attracted scholars, politicians, and thinkers who shared the belief that knowledge should liberate people, not control them. For a time, they were surprisingly influential, spreading their ideas through European political circles. But their secrecy frightened authorities. By the late 1780s, the Illuminati were outlawed, disbanded, and forced underground. Officially, they ceased to exist. Unofficially, the world refused to let them die. Rumors began almost immediately, claims that the Illuminati had infiltrated governments, revolutions, and royal courts. In the 20th century, these theories exploded. Every major event, wars, assassinations, economic crisis, was quickly linked to an invisible Illuminati. Their symbol, the all-seeing eye, was reinterpreted countless times, appearing in currency, architecture, and pop culture. Books and movies portrayed them as a clandestine empire controlling everything from banks to media to technological progress. The truth is far less dramatic. Historians agree that the Illuminati were influential, but short-lived. Their modern reputation is the result of myth-making, fear, and the human desire to find patterns in chaos. Still, the idea of a hidden elite pulling the world's strings has persisted for centuries because it simplifies the complexities of power. People want to believe that somewhere in a dark room sits a council pulling all the levers. It's terrifying, but also strangely comforting. Whether the Illuminati survive today is a question no one can answer definitively. But their story proves something important. Secrecy, even when harmless, can evolve into legend. And legend, once unleashed, can become more powerful than truth.